systems go. Clear for liftoff.
We are live. Welcome to another episode of PGA Showdown, where we go through the leaderboard, go through the DFS board, all that fun stuff. Not who to play, not who to play, not any picks, a few picks, but more the process, more some stats, more talking about the way golfers got to X position. And yeah, it's a show that we've been doing all year. If you are new here, I assume you're not new here, but happy to have, like, it feels like I have a break coming up. 7 straight weeks on the road. I know I talked about this in the private show, but first time I'm talking to you guys in the public show. 7 straight weeks on the road, and now I'm back in my house for more than 4 days at a time. With that being said, I'll tell you guys right now, I am traveling tomorrow. So the show tomorrow night will be later than it normally is. I'm going to say 11:30 p.m. to midnight will be the start time for tomorrow's round 2 showdown. So with that being said, let's share our screen. Let's get into some of the golfers who shot the rounds of the day today. Very interesting. Oh, sorry. Went to the wrong tab. Very interesting ways they did it. Sungjae Im, Brandt Snedeker, Davis Thompson, Billy Horschel, Pearson Coody, Andrew Putnam all shot rounds of 67 or better. And they didn't really do it in different ways, but they did it in kind of interesting ways. So Sungjae Im right here, he was all approach and all putter. The driving accuracy did not matter for Sungjae at all. To prove it, I'll show you a little bit of his stat line. So Sungjae, round of the day, 7 under, finished with 2 bogeys as well. First on approach, second in putting. Anytime you're gaining over almost 9 strokes approach and putting, you're doing well. But look at the driving accuracy, tied for 114th. That kind of goes hand in hand with what I was saying about how I don't think you need to drive it accurate at Valspar this year. I genuinely don't. And that's not necessarily showing with the style of golfers who are on the leaderboard yet, but we've only played 18 of 72 holes. Brandt Snedeker, usually a guy who's, if he's going to pop, is probably with hot driving accuracy. Brandt Snedeker didn't necessarily hit it so straight. I believe he only hit 8 fairways. Brandt was just all putter. So Brandt Snedeker, 8 fairways, T29. That's very shocking for Brandt Snedeker to shoot one of the rounds of the day and not be one of the most accurate drivers. Davis Thompson was approach and putter. His accuracy didn't matter at all. Billy Horschel, exact same as Davis Thompson. No driving accuracy. Pearson Coody, he nuked and got hot with the putter. And then we had Andrew Putnam. These guys right here who shot the rounds of the day, no one did it with driving accuracy, which was kind of the hot stat of the week. At least it's what I heard. And no one necessarily did that. No one was minting fairways and popping to the top. So I know I talked about on the private stream, driving distance. It's not showing yet, but I do think with especially with the stat line that we're seeing today, the driving distance will prevail, because if guys aren't hitting fairways and getting rewarded, not that they're not getting rewarded for hitting fairways, but if you're able to score without hitting fairways, that means the distance will prevail sooner than later. So I think we're in a good spot for our week-long plays. We're in a good spot for just our week-long agenda of what I'm looking for. I necessarily am not saying you guys play the same guys as me, but if you play the same style of golfers as me, then they might be coming to fruition tomorrow through Sunday. So I'm still high in the driving distance. We're going to talk about those stats later on. I do want to bring up the wave split, which I was wrong about on the private stream. I thought there would have been a little bit of a PM advantage. Not necessarily, I wasn't too confident. I didn't go crazy with it, but I thought there was going to be a PM advantage with the warmer temperatures, but the wind actually ended up prevailing in the PM. So I was wrong there. I took my stand and got it wrong. I'd rather take a stand and get it wrong than be wishy-washy and not be confident either way, because more than likely you're not going to win anyway. So take a stand. If you're right, you're going to be very right. If you're wrong, you're just wrong normally. So that was the wave split. I was wrong for today. We're going to take a look at the weather right now and see if we could find any advantages. I'm yet to look at the weather for tomorrow yet. So we see 9 to 10 mile an hour gusts all day. It seems fairly the same. It looks like 4 mile an hour of difference in the afternoon. Based off of today, it seems fairly similar. With that being said, if it's very similar to what we saw today, I think the morning should just play easier. And like it's a very like common take, like, all right, it's similar, like why not play the morning again tomorrow? But sometimes it always is that easy. So I probably will be leaning towards the morning in tomorrow's round. So I don't mind it. I don't think it's a bad play for tomorrow. I'm probably going with the morning. Talking about DraftKings, for some reason I cannot log into DraftKings. I'm not going to show my number right there. It's not letting me log in right now. So hopefully I can log in like a few hours to actually put some lineups in, but it's not letting me log in right now. So contest selection wise, I'm not going to go through every contest, but I did look at them. The 2K Albatross is a $12 single entry. I think is the best way to spend just a few bucks. Not if you're trying to spend $1,000, you're trying to spend $500,000 or $5,000. You guys know what to do. If you're just trying to spend $15 or less, I love the $12 single entry. 10th place pays more than 10%, which is more than normal. And it's a nice little payout structure. So that's where I'm going to play my small entry. $12 single entry. The 2K Albatross is where I will be going for that. So before we get into some of the players, before we get into some of the stats we're looking for, let me show you the tools that you guys need for your showdown lineups. These projections will be posted in the next hour or so, next 2 hours. No, probably like 2 hours or so, because there's still a few guys on the golf course, I believe, because it is daylight out here, 7 p.m. in the great state of Florida. Go to the site. As you can see, this at the top, go copy the links in the description. There's still a free week. You can get the rest of the showdown slate plan, which will be filled out in the next hour, probably from me. I give you the core, I give you my favorite plays in each tier, along with a little breakdown. You can get that for free, along with these projections, along with this showdown stone, which is always what gives you all the information, all the AM, PM wave splits, everything you need to know. So you're going to go to the site, join the nation, hit all access. If you want all sports, MLB is around the corner. You want just the PGA, go PGA Optimizer plus Core. You can get all the tools. Use the once you have your players, you're going to go over to SaberSim, build your lineups, check off your guys, make your rules, and you are set from there. So go use that links in the description, or just go to shippernation.com and use code BOOTS. Help me help you. I'll be on the road again in the near future, like we all love so much. Okay, the next thing I do want to talk about is some of the players that I'm looking for. So let's bring up the stats via Data Golf. Round 1 stats. Let's update it. Make sure we are all up to date. So as you see, Sungjae, Brandt, Davis Thompson, Billy Horschel leading the way. What do we want to sort for in tomorrow's round? I don't bring this up every single round, but I do think that distance is going to prevail once in a while. So if you go over to Data Golf, I'll show you how to get there, actually. You're going to go over to, this is the landing page on Data Golf. If you hit live stats right here, it'll bring you to this page that I was just out. And then right here in the top right, it says show player types. If you toggle this on, it's going to be more than likely off. You toggle it on, it'll turn purple. Then you're going to go over here. And this shows the player archetypes. A for accurate, S for short, L for long. That just tells you what they are off the tee. I'm kind of giving a bias to these guys who are long off the tee, because as I started at the top of the show, driving accuracy is not necessarily getting rewarded like it may in a given week, or it may in normal Valspar weeks. And that was my take from being out there during the week on Tuesday. I was like, this rough it's long, but it's not necessarily extremely penal. And the long guys are going to have more looks than they normally would in a given Valspar week. And the long guys are not necessarily going to be the most owned guys. Guys usually going to accurate golfers at Valspar. So going with some of the longer golfers will get you different in general, and potentially lead you to some nuke rounds of the day. So I know the top 3 rounds were accurate guys, but no one did it with glaring driving accuracy. I actually want to sort. I can't sort by this right now. If I were to see, it probably would take me a long time, but none of these top rounds of the day were like top 20 in driving accuracy, which is rare. Usually we see a guy mint fairways and have a nuke round of the day. That did not happen at all. So let's go here, find some golfers who, they don't have to be long, but if they're long, it helps to have a glaring weakness. But the stat that have really shown to pop was approach and putting. Pairing these two things should lead to success. So let's see guys who didn't do one of them poorly, did one okay, and has room to pop in one of those regards. So let's scroll down a little bit, see if we have a profile. Who's this right here? Is this Xander? Alex Smalley. Alex Smalley is an unbelievable play, in my opinion, tomorrow. So he shot -3. He gained one on the greens, one on approach. Did not pop anywhere. Steady across the board. If Alex Smalley does this again tomorrow and has one of these +3 putting rounds, this -4 turns into a -6. Alex Smalley makes a ton of sense. So who's this right here? Gained 3.7 on approach, lost almost a full stroke on the greens, and drove it well enough. Let's see. I'm not looking at names. It's Xander Schauffele. It is Xander Schauffele, and I think we're in a great groove with Xander for our outright play, just for all Xander this week. He made nothing today, and as you can see, lost a stroke putting. So these are the stats we're looking for: approach and putting. Let's go down a little more. I don't want to necessarily ride this +4 putter. That's a little bit too much. I like the guys who are a little bit more towards 0, more towards even, to have that pop ability. This is a great profile right here. About +0.3 on approach, +0.3 on the greens. So much room to pop. Were they long off the tee? That would be nice if they were long off the tee. They're accurate. It was Corey Connors. Okay, not my favorite play in the world, but a lot of room to pop. He's not necessarily the greatest putter, so I don't necessarily love that, but not a bad profile. Gained 1.6 on approach, lost a stroke putting. Who could this be? Tom Kim. Wish he was a little longer. You guys are getting the sense. Let's see what we got in the comments. I agree with this. Xander Smalley is a great starter for a lineup. Thoughts on Smotherman and Patrick Rogers? I don't like Smotherman. I'll tell you that right now, but I'll give a look to Patrick Rogers. I don't like Smotherman because he is generally like, he's a good little player. He's a good little player, but he's been chalky for the last 2 weeks. Austin Smotherman is always in the 6K range, and now he has 2 good weeks to golf, and all of a sudden he's so owned. Don't chase those low-owned players. Like, yeah, I get it, Austin Smotherman. Like, you could play a little golf, but it's just like when he gets chalky when he's usually in the 6K range, it's not something I want to chase. But I will give a look to Patrick Rogers. Patrick Rogers, not a bad profile. He's long, which we like. He gained 1.5 on the greens, lost about a stroke on approach. Not the greatest profile in the world. He's generally not the best iron player, which makes sense for this profile. But he's been hitting the irons a bit better over the last few tournaments, or at least last week. So I don't mind that. Let's find a few more guys that fit the bill that we were looking for. Right here, +7 on approach, +7 off the tee. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I'll skip to it. +7 on approach, +7 on the putting greens, also long. This was going to be the one golfer that I am on, as I always do. One golfer that I am on definitely is Wyndham Clark. Damn it. His profile was just too good that it caught me when I was least expecting it. So Wyndham Clark is the one golfer I am on. I guess I'll just do that bit right now and find a few more golfers. Sorry, editor. I know that's supposed to come. That's supposed to come next. We'll find some more profiles that kind of fit the bill, what we're looking for. All right, -0.3 on approach, +0.8 on the greens. If this is a good approach player, this is a good formula right here. AJ Ewert, pass. He's not the greatest approach player. I don't love what I'm seeing from him. All right. +0.1 on approach, -0.1 on the greens. Room to pop in either of these categories. Is this player a good putter? Is this player a good approach player? Let's see. I like not looking at the players and just looking at the numbers and see where it leads me. Moment of truth. Adrian Sadier, if you don't know him, a DP World Tour rookie from Franza. He can pop with the irons. So I do like that. Not the longest, but I don't mind the profile. I want to stay away from these like -1, -1.5 approach guys, because that's just like poor approach play. I'm not going to chase poor approach play. I don't mind chasing like 0 approach play. Like that means it's not horrible with room to improve. Right here, this is +1 on approach, -0.7 on the greens. That could flip for sure. Let's see who this is. They still have a hole left. Jimmy Stangs, Tampa native, I believe. I believe Jimmy Stangs is from Tampa. Don't mind that at all. That could be a nice play. Let's find 2 more profiles that kind of fit the bill of what we're looking for. I don't want to chase that putter. -0.4 on approach, +0.3 on the greens. Just a bad around the green week. This around the green day. This could be a really nice profile. Joel Damon. I wish he was a little longer, but this is the stat line that I'm looking for. They don't, like I said, they don't have to be long. I think long helps though. One more guy. Here we go. Very similar profile to Joel Damon. He was plus about even on approach, about even on the greens. The two stats that we were looking for, he was not bad and he was average with. No one's going to go to him because he shot +2. Poor around the greens. And he's long. Matty Schmidt. I think Matty Schmidt is a great play for tomorrow. So those are the golfers that I am looking for. Those are the stats that I'm looking for to make it happen. As always, the slate plan will be up in the next few minutes. And finally, the song of the day, as always, What It Cost by Bad Omens. The playlist is in the Discord, so go check it out. Like I said, tomorrow's show will be a bit later than normal. Any questions, you know where to find me. And like every other day of the year, let's ship it. Catch you guys tomorrow.